Toni. I think everybody was shocked when we found out that these two actually got married. I know, like, there's a lot of things we will do in order to pay our bills, but I never thought the relationship between Toni and Birdman was genuine. I just knew that he was just willing to go broke behind her. It just never fit. And so apparently in August of last year in 2024, they had a secret wedding. Finally got married in secret, even though everything else was public. And then she went and tried to annul the marriage 2 weeks later because she realized she had stuff.
Girl, Miss Kimora Lee Simmons has really spun the block with the Braxtons, because what do you mean Kimora got caught red-handed with Birdman while he was supposed to be married to the living legend Toni Braxton? And you already know who is having a field day with this and letting her thoughts be known. Miss Tamar Braxton. Kimora Lee has always been about maintaining her lifestyle, whether it is through her brands and reportedly through her roster of men. So it wasn't a surprise when word started going around that Kimora and Birdman were having some type of arrangement. But according to Tamar, what Kimora and Birdman had going on was more than just an arrangement. It was more like a full-blown relationship, to the point where Toni reportedly felt like the side chick in the whole situation. But ish hit the fan when Tamar caught them herself, because you know that Tamar ain't keeping nothing on the hush-hush. The way Tamar tells it, Kimora didn't even bat an eye after she was caught and acted like it was just nothing but a normal Tuesday. And Tamar just sat there looking like she couldn't believe any of what was happening. So here's the gist. Toni and Birdman are married now, but for the longest time, these two were claiming to be nothing more than good friends. And there was nothing that you could present to Toni to get her to admit otherwise. I mean, even when we saw them out and about looking all loved up, Toni basically said that our own eyes were deceiving us. It was almost as if she was embarrassed to claim this man as her husband.
You know, me and him have been friends for 16 years.
I know, you had a song like 15 years ago,
yeah,
too,
we've
right?
been like besties for a long time.
People always say that. But
No, this is real. Like, no cross the line.
Besties, like you always kept in touch and you always talked?
We would keep in touch. He would come see me when I had my plays. When I had my baby shower, he would come. Like, we were really friends.
Birdman is notoriously private about his love life. We know this. So when people started asking whether he and Toni were dating, he denied it too and said that they were just hanging out.
You was at the awards last night?
Yeah, I was out there.
Working?
Doing my thizzle.
And you were with Toni, which kind of felt like some sort of announcement.
I wouldn't look at it as an announcement. Not for me, on my behalf. You know, I just wanted to come. Me and T just went to the awards, check it out. So, what's the big deal?
It is a big deal. You know why it's a big deal? Because it's Birdman and Toni Braxton. And also because we don't see you like in a relationship. We talked about this last time when you
I've always been off the radar, because I think me personally, I always felt your personal life don't have nothing to do with conflict with you.
But despite all of the denials, there was a blind item around 2016 confirming that the two of them might have been a thing. The blind item says, this former A-plus list aging singer who comes from a singing family dumped her longtime boyfriend because she had to take care of her family and pay off her massive debts. So instead of being with someone for love, she says she now has sold herself to the highest bidder. And the winner is a guy who was living on borrowed time life-wise because of all the people gunning for him. And that absolutely checks out for Toni. She filed for her second bankruptcy back in 2010 because she had to cancel her Las Vegas shows as she was battling lupus.
People don't know 2016 November, when I was on tour October, I was really sick. I don't mean kind of sick. I mean like really,
from
really
lupus?
sick. Yeah, I had a really bad flare, and I was on tour. And every day I was on tour, he was there with me. If he left out, he would come back.
And this was before anybody knew you guys.
We weren't anything. We was buddies. It was
Right.
nothing. Not even a day. He was my friend. He was there. I don't know if
he already loved you.
He's there every day taking care of you. But you know, he really was there every day. My buddy, my friend T. You all right? You good? I'm cheering good. You know, he was just there as my friend. Like cheering. I'm cheering good. Big Mama good. He was there every day for the shows. And on my off days, he would go and take care of his business, but he would follow me on the bus and just make sure I was okay. And I don't know if you've ever been really, really sick in your life and you feel kind of hopeless and you got somebody who's a friend that's there. That's kind of, it just made me see him differently.
And now that people are starting to find out that Toni and Birdman really were a thing, Birdman decided to make it all the way official, and he popped the question with a rock. Child. When Birdman said that he spent $1 million to propose to this woman, that was the truth, because you could spot that ring from a mile away, and he also raved about how excited he was to call her his wife.
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust her.
Because you bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes.
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
She my life. I love her to death.
Even Toni talked about how excited she was to finally be married again, and she couldn't wait to plan the wedding and have a huge celebration with her family and friends.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values, and we were going through a little drama, and I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of us sisters together. Yeah. But I couldn't get us all together, and I said, the wedding's not a good reason because it's messing up my relationship a little bit. He's like, come on, Michelle, set a date. I know.
That's what he calls you?
Calls me Michelle. Doesn't call me Toni at all. That's my middle name, Toni Michelle.
But the wedding kept getting pushed back and back like there was something going on the inside. And at this point, people didn't know what to expect from the two of them. And it only got even more confusing when Toni revealed that she had lost that engagement ring, child, that Birdman had given to her. According to Toni, she lost it while she was on a flight and her bags got misplaced because she would keep her ring in her bag. And y'all, it didn't stop there, because shortly after, Birdman and Toni announced that they were going their separate ways. I guess he said, you ain't finna be casually losing no $1 million around here. I don't care how much money I got. Or at least that's what I would have said in my mind. But getting back to the story, there was some speculation around what may have happened with the two of them to have gone from wanting to get married to losing the engagement ring and eventually separating. And it sure didn't help that after the breakup, Toni posted herself in a red dress with the caption, "Starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen." Okay. And now we finally know the reason why all of the excitement around the wedding faded away, because there was another woman in the picture and there was nothing discreet about what she and Birdman had going on. So according to Tamar, the sole reason why Toni and Birdman were able to meet and hit it off in the first place was because she introduced the two of them, meaning that she was right there from the start of the relationship. And people should dead all the talk about her stealing Toni's man, because that ain't never happening. And y'all know that once Tamar starts talking, she ain't gonna stop until everything is out. And now it's being reported that she confronted Birdman about another woman who just so happened to be the Kimora Lee. And word is that long before Toni came into the picture, he and Kimora were secretly dating each other for a little over 10 years, and that they were mainly together between 2004 and 2014. That means that Kimora's relationship with Birdman overlaps her marriage with Russell Simmons a bit, as well as her other husband, Tim, and her baby daddy, the fine Diamond Hansu, okay? And even when they had stopped seeing each other consistently, Kimora always had him on the back burner while he continued to fund her lifestyle long after Toni came into the picture. Birdman even celebrated Kimora, calling her the love of his life, and said that he was grateful for everything she had done for him. So Kimora is the love of his life while Toni is his family and soldier? Ciao. And even when Toni and Birdman were all engaged and stuff, Kimora was still out there in the wings, and she had Birdman at her beck and call. Word is that the only reason why Kimora doesn't want to date him publicly is because she doesn't think that it would be a good look for her and her brand, considering her business and fashion spaces that she moves in. And this is why Tamar confronted Birdman. It's one thing for him to be snooping all over town, and it's another thing to treat Toni like she's the second option, especially when she agreed to be his wife. And the tip of the iceberg was allegedly when Tamar caught Birdman and Kimora together, and the two of them didn't seem sorry at all. And that was when Toni said that she was done with the engagement and called it off. But once Birdman came back begging and trying to fix things, they got back together and eventually married. But here's the kicker. When Toni and Birdman actually decided to get married last year, he was still running around behind Kimora. Word is that on the day of the wedding, Birdman arrived very late while everyone was sitting and waiting. Despite that, he still decided to leave the wedding early, saying he had to help someone out with something. And guess who he was running to help out? None other than Kimora Lee.
She's a bird, continue the story. family, but back to the family. And the baby was beating that. Go ahead.
And this is exactly why Toni filed for divorce only 2 days until they decided to reconcile and stay married. But at this point, Toni has already tuned out the whole situation and has decided to continue living her life because the money is too good to pass up. Toni has always had to take care of everyone, and at this point in her life and career, she doesn't mind having someone looking out for her and keeping her financially secure. As long as Toni is aware of what's going on between Birdman and Kimora, people are fine with it. And the biggest surprise right now is how Birdman is getting all of these baddies to stay with him. Kimora has always gone where the money resides, so can't be surprised. Kimora is either privileged or highly respected. She never gets called out for having kids with different men. She just gets called a mogul, mom, a trailblazer, and an icon. Other women could never escape the scrutiny. Y'all remember when Birdman and Kimora Lee were on Beauty Shop? Then she got with Diamond, who was in that movie too? This is hard to believe. But what I want to know is, were y'all surprised to hear about Birdman and Kimora, or was it something that you expected of the both of them? Sound off in the comments and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.